we're starting to head downwind, and sure enough, one of those blocks broke again. We're gonna have a little tuna feast.
We have a welcoming committee.
It's 9:30. He said yesterday on WhatsApp it opens at 8. It's 9:30 and no one's here. Going to the agent's office right now and paying them and doing any last minute stuff we have to do with them, and we'll go provision later. We'll probably wash the boat while we still have plenty of water and dock access, and then we're off to San Blas. So this is like the main anchorage here in Cartagena, and this is the other marina called Club Nautico, I believe. But I gotta be honest, I'm so glad we're not at the anchorage. It just seems so hot, rolly, with a ton of boats going by. Yeah, you can see everyone's kind of close together and stuff. You guys know we don't go to marinas too often. I really try to avoid them because that eats into our budget quite a bit. But here in Cartagena, it was really, really nice being at the marina for a couple weeks. I would do it again any day, especially having AC and just easy on and off the dock and everything like that. Don't have to worry about leaving the dinghy anywhere. But from now on in San Blas, we're gonna be anchored for a long time, for the next 2 months at least, until we get to probably get ready to go through the canal. This must be another anchorage area just on the other side of Club Nautico. And we're walking right over here. Our agent's office is somewhere over here. So I think I only had to come here to pay basically with their credit card machine. Pretty expensive, it's $350 to use the agent, but they definitely made it super easy. They're gonna drop the passports back off tomorrow morning and then we can leave.
Okay friends, it is officially time to head to Panama.
I kind of did this already on my way to check out.
We've been trying to get to Panama for so long. We thought we were going to spend hurricane season there, but then we got too scared of lightning and ended up going to Grenada, then ABC's, then Colombia, and now, finally, we are leaving tomorrow. But first, Billy just went and checked out, and now we need to go get groceries. Tomorrow we will get fuel, and then we will leave the dock.
The restaurants here in Colombia have been amazing. The food has been amazing and relatively cheap. And the groceries too. We've gotten groceries before, but now we're doing like full-on provisioning trip. But the groceries here are relatively cheap too, like especially compared to all the Caribbean countries we just came from. We're going to San Blas in Panama, which is very remote. We're gonna be there for like a solid month, so we're gonna load up just so we have plenty of stuff for that area. After that we'll go to like Bocas del Toro and we can get more like regular groceries there and stuff. So we're gonna definitely load up for a solid month and it'll be affordable.
The main struggle is we are not fluent in Spanish and everything is in Spanish. So I have a list. I translated that list into Spanish and hopefully we will not have too big of a struggle because we are filling up. We're pretty much empty on everything right now. So it's gonna be a big one.
Yes. We got a lot of stuff. You have fun?
It's stressful and I certainly still didn't get everything, but we won't starve.
How are we getting back to the marina?
Ubers are so cheap here, it's like $2 to get from here.
We did it, guys, kind of. Well, at least we're back on the boat.
Tetris.
How are we gonna fit all this stuff? Will we have room?
We shall see.
Oh, you got all that away so fast.
The hardest part is dealing with packaged meat in other countries because it's all leaking and ugh. But we're just gonna seal it up.
just about ready. We are ready to leave. We're throwing lines onto the boat, but the security guard said we can't leave yet. He's just waiting for confirmation from someone. I don't know if it's the office here or like customs.
However, it's going well, so I bet everyone's on lunch.
Yeah, I think everyone just went on lunch at 1 o'clock 10 minutes ago, so we'll see.
Okay guys, while we are waiting for confirmation that we can leave the country, I'm going to sneak in here and tell you about today's video sponsor, who is BetterHelp. I'm sure a lot of you guys have made New Year's resolutions. It is January 2025. I can also bet some money that a lot of those resolutions are based around health and fitness, and I love that. I think that is so important, but something that gets neglected all the time and kind of just put on the back burner is mental health, and it is just as important, and that is where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform, so no matter whether you're about to be out at sea just like we are, or if you just have a super busy schedule and getting to an office for an appointment seems near impossible, well, with BetterHelp's ability to text or call or video chat, now makes something that seemed impossible much more doable. All you have to do is fill out a quick questionnaire, and in most cases, you'll be matched with a licensed therapist in just a few days. And if for some reason you don't totally mesh with your therapist, changing therapist is super easy and totally free. I personally love mine right away, so hopefully you will too. I can attest that therapy can be so beyond helpful, and I highly, highly, highly recommend giving it a try. So if you are interested in giving therapy a try, you can visit betterhelp.com/endlesssummer or click the link in the description to get 10% off your first month. And let's make 2025 our best physically and mentally healthy year yet. And now I think we can leave. ¿Está bien?
So back in the day, all sailors carried these stupid Baja filters because they're, especially in third world countries, wherever, remote places, really high likelihood of like growth, diesel bug, or water in diesel, and these block both of those. But it's 2024, and I just don't know why we're still doing this. We would never do this on like, say even mountain mist, right? We had plenty of filters and like a slow fuel polishing system, and I think that's what, you know, a lot of bigger boats have. Sport fish or trawlers or whatever have enough room to have an extra pump and extra filters, extra filter systems, so that they can polish their own fuel and they can drain their own water out and whatever if it is contaminated. But I think we're still small enough where that's not really practical on our boat, so we're still doing this just to be extra cautious. And it's really annoying. This pump only goes like really slow or really fast, so filling it up, letting it go, filling it up, letting it go. That's my rant for right now. Getting out of here. A whole bunch of Navy boats and a Coast Guard ship, or Navy ships and a Coast Guard ship right here where we've been going in and out of. I don't know what's going on. We're passing right by them. So hopefully that's all right, because you're probably not supposed to get too close to them or whatever. just went to pull the traveler down. We're starting to head downwind, and sure enough, one of those blocks broke again. One of the same blocks actually that we had break, when was it? In the Chesapeake last fall on our way down. Luckily I have a spare. I'll show you guys why I thought that happened last time and why I'm a little bit surprised it happened again. Sierra's bringing this traveler down. This is down to the other side, not the side that broke. The reason I thought that happened the first time was I thought that this was getting too close to here, and then this angle, or on the other side, it's slightly different, but there's still an angle coming off of here, and I thought it was getting too steep and just kind of splitting this apart, because I don't know if you guys can see that, but this line's coming out this way instead of being in line with all these other lines. So we put these marks just to keep this traveler a good distance away from here, to keep this angle not too bad, because the closer this gets to here, the more this angle is and the more it's stressing this block. So that's pretty good ways off the stop on the end there. And this is the side that broke, and honestly the angle, I think our marks allow it to get a little bit closer on this side, because the angle is not that bad at all. Actually, the block should be directly in line with here, pretty much. So I don't know, I'm at a loss for why that one exploded. Don't really know. Gonna have to get another spare, just in case. Hopefully Seawind sends us one. All right guys, wind kind of filled in, switched directions from when we first started. We basically have it a little bit on our nose right now. We had the Screecher out because it was pretty light. A real fine line of what you can fly the Screecher in, especially at this angle. So like 10, 11 knots is the conservative window that it says on our sail chart. So we're getting just above that, so we put that away. We got the jib out. So we're like close hauled with the jib in like kind of light conditions, like between 10 and 12 knots true wind. We're going pretty slow. We're only doing 3.5, 4 knots boat speed. Trying to get this trim right. We could probably break off another 5 degrees, pick up some boat speed, but we're just messing around. Such a fine line, like at this angle, close reaching, close hauled, close reaching. Can't fly the Screecher close hauled, but you can close reaching. Perfect at 10 knots of true wind, but then just above that it's like at its limit, its conservative limit, but then even at 11 knots of true wind with the jib, it's like kind of underpowered. So it's like just they don't quite overlap, they kind of just butt up to each other. We probably could push that Screecher a little bit more, but I just don't want to break it. And running it. Just, this is the stop that controls where the jib sheets to, so just messing around with that angle. Probably want it open even a little more.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing, I got it. It's light enough, I can do it myself. Don't do that at home. Yeah, I think it's a mahi. Going after it.
That's the tiniest tuna blackfin I've ever seen. Wow. If he'll live, if not, there's not a size minimum, but...
Yeah, I think it's tiny, huh?
Was that what you saw?
No, I think it was a mahi going after this one. I saw like blue under the surface, picking it a little. Didn't get it, didn't bite it though, didn't get a bite on it. Feels kind of small. We always catch fish on our oldest spinner rod. Small little tuna, I think, again. Wow, that's so crazy.
You think it's the same one? He's a little bigger.
Jeez, deep him?
Yeah, you can make sushi. We bought one of these fish bags, and that's what Billy brought all the meat bag from when he came back to Grenada, but it literally ripped on its first use and the zipper's broken, so don't really recommend one of those.
Take another tuna probably. They like this one. We're gonna have a little tuna feast.
They always want this pole.
Every time, 3 times before. I bet you it's another mini tuna. We got the jetty sail up. Yeah, that one looks a little bigger. So many little tuna around here, it's crazy. Well, you guys, we are only 5 miles from Obaldia in Panama. Pretty slow passage in general. We had a good wind. It filled in yesterday afternoon and stayed with us all night pretty much. We kept flying the asymmetric spinnaker, the jetty sail, until after dark. We don't really like to fly it at night. It's just a big sail, a lot to manage, especially with one person on watch. They definitely have to wake the other person up for us to put it away, just for us to feel comfortable. A little bit after dark we put it away, but it was definitely pulling us along nicely, and then we were just kind of sailing with the main and jib and going pretty slow, nice and easy. But that was alright because there's been a ton of debris out here, lots of logs and stuff, pretty much the whole way, and it was good to slow down actually during the night. So I don't think these logs would cause us much damage. I mean, they're on the surface. Oh, I probably just jinxed it, but we're going pretty slow. They're on the surface. These holes are thick, strong. We have mini keels, which in theory protects our sail drive and rudder and everything, which, I don't know, I'm talking out of my butt right now, but maybe we were just lucky we didn't hit any logs at night. It would have been nearly impossible to like keep watch enough to avoid every single log lit. CRC's a big log right now, somewhere. Yeah. It's definitely more stuff in the water here as we get closer to land than it was when we were closer to land before. Overnight, we were definitely further offshore. Like right before it got dark, I definitely was seeing less debris in general. Definitely now that we're approaching land right over there, a lot more debris. I mean, if we were going fast and it hit our sail drive straight on, yeah, maybe. But I don't know, these holes are laid up pretty thick. I don't think it would do something.
This feeling's like when we finally approached Dominican Republic. We haven't had anything this tall.
Well, Colombia coast was this tall in spots.
Maybe not when I was awake.
So really pretty easy overnight last night. I actually saw the moon was not full at all and it set pretty early, so it was pretty dark out and you could see so many stars. I must have seen like 10 shooting stars, and they were all really short and fast shooting stars, like just lasted like a quarter of a second, bam, like right across. And some of the ones I saw, I was lucky enough to be looking in the exact spot. It wasn't out of the corner of my eye, but like I saw it right in front of where I was looking, which is pretty cool. So I must have seen like 10 of them, and no boats whatsoever. I mean, the There's no reason we would have seen any ships or anything. The only like commercial traffic that probably comes through this area are supposedly, I think there's like barges that come from Colombia to deliver supplies and stuff maybe, or sell supplies to Obaldia here, because Colombia is right here. We're right next to the border of Colombia, and the infamous Darien Gap, which is actually really dangerous, like forest area, jungle area. Yeah, so I think the border of Colombia is only like 5 miles away from here. It's like right there. But yeah, no boat traffic at all last night, which was kind of wild. Wow, look at this log. Holy smokes. Yeah, like that would suck to hit at night. So this is a wide open anchorage we're going to in Obaldia. There's only 2 spots you can really check in to get kind of close, that are close to the sandblast, and Obaldia is the first one, which is closest to Colombia. Linton Bay is the second one. That's like much closer to like the canal entrance, Panama Canal entrance. So this one's a much shorter run, not quite as into the main part of sandblast that everyone goes to, but that's all right. We wanted to kind of explore these lesser populated areas, populated with cruisers at least. There's apparently still a lot of villages, but we have to check in before we do anything. But it's Sunday, but we heard that you can still check in on Sunday, so we'll check it out. We'll anchor for a little bit, hopefully get checked in pretty quick, and then we can motor over 5 miles away to another much more protected anchorage, because I think it's gonna be rolly in here. Like, I think all this swell is just gonna go straight into this area, which is gonna suck.
We have a welcoming committee! Land ho!
All right, we're going to check in. Wish us luck.
It's supposed to be a little bit of an interesting check-in process. We got to go to customs, immigration, and the port guy, and the port,
And
the police,
and the coffee shop. Get coffee.
I think the dock we're supposed to tie up to is a little sketchy, so.
This is the most pangas I've ever seen in one spot.
Yeah, they're different kind of pangas, so they all have pointy noses.
Yeah, big, tall, pointy boughs. Wow, this is like some sort of woodworking shop or mill or shop or whatever. That's cool. I don't know, probably some nice wood, probably teak or something. So we're at immigration again. He asked us if we could come back in 30 minutes, so we just did a loop around the town. He was just finishing up lunch, so hopefully in a few minutes we get checked in. All right, immigration's done. They took our fingerprints and stamped our passports. Now we just got to go to the port captain, which is also customs, I believe, and also get our cruising permit from here. All right, some guys just went by. I think they're the guys on this boat right here. It's like a local small cargo ship boat type deal. And they just walked by and they said they're closed today, open back up tomorrow morning. So I hope that's not the case. I have the port captain's WhatsApp phone number. It was on like the San Blas cruisers group. So we just texted him and said we're here. Hopefully he comes. It's only 2:30?
Well, you had texted
PM.
him earlier seeing if it was okay, and he said okay.
Yeah, I hope because we have to go like 6 miles away.
We don't want to stay in this anchorage overnight.
Yeah,
it's really rolly.
So rolly. So we want to motor like 6 miles away to a really calm anchorage, and it would suck to have to either stay here or go there and then come back. So we're at their little store across from the customs place. Just ordered some food and water just because they have like hot dogs and hamburgers, and just because we're hungry and waiting. He said it's Mother's Day here in Panama, so he doesn't think he's working today. So I don't know, we're waiting for a response on text. Our boat's out here in the rolly anchorage, and we just don't want to stay here overnight, but we might have to. Well, we just got the message. He said come back tomorrow. That's all he said. So, but as a consolation prize, look what we just got. Haven't had a hot dog in forever.
We had one in the first shop.
Oh yeah, they're really good. You had it. I guess I had a bite.
You had half of it.
We're back at the port captain's office here. It's 9:30. He said yesterday on WhatsApp it opens at 8. It's 9:30 and no one's here.
And we didn't end up leaving last night because we're like, we're so tired, we'll just take some seasick medicine and go to bed. It got more and more rough throughout the night, and
I didn't even take seasick medicine.
It wasn't fun. And then in the middle of the night, I was slamming, and it sounded like we were hitting the bottom. You know when you like hit the bottom and then the wave brings you up, and then a couple seconds later you hit the bottom again. I was like, oh my gosh, we're hitting the bottom. But then realized it was just a giant tree that was stuck under the boat. So that was fun. Tip, if you're here and it's an uncomfortable anchorage and you're like, maybe we should leave and then come back, you should leave.
All right, you guys, we finally are checked in and everything. One little hiccup is that for some reason we can't get our cruising permit here, which you're supposed to need this cruising permit. It lasts a whole year, it costs $200. We ran into another cruiser who said last time he was here a month ago, they just didn't have the forms. It was hard for me to communicate with the port captain, but he didn't give it to me. I asked a few times in different ways. He said, no, we don't need it. And then I asked specifically, got some service to translate. Do we need a cruising permit to cruise San Blas for the next month? And he said, no, the Zarpe is good for that. So we don't have a cruising permit. Hopefully that doesn't come to bite us in the future.
But the Zarpe is instead of, because you normally don't get a Zarpe until you're leaving somewhere.
I don't know. That's not what I read for here. I agree. That's what we've experienced in the past, but that's not what I've read for here. So I don't know.
But on the upside, they didn't charge us the $250 that we thought they were going to.
Yeah, so we're getting out of this rolly anchorage. We're gonna go explore someplace cool. So let's go. We're here. feels so nice to be in calm water. Our first stop in the sandblast, basically. Is Obaldia considered a sandblast? I guess so. But this is like a little more typical sandblast.
Okay, Cartagena was super cool and I'm really glad we went. However, we are the farthest thing from city people that you will probably ever find. And we are so happy to get back to pretty water, palm trees, sandy beaches. And there is one person more excited than most who is excited to run on the beach.
This is a cool spot. We're all by ourselves over here, surrounded by mangroves and palm trees. The first thing we do when we get to a spot like this is just enjoy it for a little bit. We went on a little dinghy ride, jumped in the water, kind of checked out the area. And then the next thing we do when we get to a spot like this is boat work. This is our sea strainer for our water maker and air conditioner. After being at the super nutrient rich waters of Cartagena, this is what we have. Tons of growth and mussels and barnacles in here, so I'm just cleaning it out. And Sierra just cleaned the tuna we got on our way here. So a few more chores and then we'll have some dinner.
Tonight's dinner, tuna, sushi, tacos. Sushi rice, avocado, sesame seed, mango, blackfin tuna combo mixture. This is the lazy way of making sushi.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, folks, last night was absolutely miserable, but we're finally in a calm anchorage with beautiful palm trees around, pretty water, and we are checked in to Panama. Now what are we gonna do?
I don't know. Explore.
If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Tula shop where we have lots of cool t-shirts, and we will see you next week in Sandblast.